This is Brown-Phillips. Today, I am doing a video testimonial. I want to share some of the wins from a current client that I was working with. His name is Stephen. He's an investor based out in Texas. So, how are you doing today, Stephen?
Pretty good. How you doing, William?
I'm doing great. So, without being too long-winded, Stephen, share with me. I know we touched base, early in 2024, and then I shared with you the opportunity for you to do a VIP day with me, and you decided to take advantage of that opportunity. So, share with the listening audience where you were in your journey prior to you meeting me.
Well, prior to me finding you, I was all over the place. I mean, I tried everything on my own, YouTube, university, tried different like study groups, different places and things like that at that point. And when I found Lorelia, she kind of helped me put all this stuff in perspective.
All right. So I know since that time, you've came on board and you've worked with me on some other stuff that I had provided. I know in the summer you did the Raising Capital Accelerator, and I know you've had some success with what you've gotten from the mini VIP day and with the Raising Capital um, a workshop that I did in the summer. So share with the listening audience the wins that you were able to, have for yourself.
Yeah, for me, I was able to started out from like a couple of small lists. Lorelia kind of helped me expand my horizon as far as my thought process. Like, don't think small, think bigger. So in that situation, I ended up finding like multiple asset managers, with the help of Aurelia, training sessions with me.
So let me just give the audience a context of what Stephen just talked about. So, for those who don't know, what I help investors, real estate investors with is being able to expand their funding sources and also to help them to get access to real estate assets that they can, be able to purchase. And that is in the area of real estate notes. So what Stephen is referring to is with working with me and and I'm going to let Stephen elaborate, is that he was able to implement a strategy that I had shared with him for him to get access to asset managers, real estate, hedge fund asset managers who have an inventory of real estate assets. And so, Stephen, if you can elaborate on one of the asset managers that you were able to touch base with implementing some of the information that I shared with you, share with the listening audience what kind of a list of assets you have.
Yeah, the list of assets that I got, it was recently about 13, 14 days ago. There's a list of about like 60 assets, and it was from a special asset manager. I found it on Sales Navigator and LinkedIn.
Mhm.
Those are through that contact. So that's kind of what it was.
Exactly. So, for the listening audience to understand, one of the parts of the framework that I share with people with the funding accelerator is that there's different levels of how you can get access to capital. So, Stephen, can you share with us where you were prior to working with me with being able to uh, get access to private lenders? Let's talk about that some, the private lender piece of what you've been
Yeah.
doing.
So the private lender fees, my first mistake was I was all over the place. I was trying to do a seller finance people. I was trying to find like just raising capital people. So instead of me narrowing my focus on, just a general uh, spot, I was just all over the place. So it really kind of helped me like narrow that stuff down and just specifically, become one with just that one source of like either it's going to be seller finance people or raise the capital. Just focus on one of those and become good at that. So really gonna help me with lining all that stuff up.
Exactly. So, Stephen, you pretty much niched down and you decided to zero in on self-directed IRA lenders. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep.
So, just so the audience understands right now, um, Stephen is currently working a self-directed IRA list of looking for private lenders who would be looking and interested in investing in his real estate deal. So currently, it's a two-part puzzle. He has what he just recently talked about in the early part of this interview about him being able to reach out with asset managers to get a list of assets. And now he's doing the other piece, which is connecting with private managers to work with him to be able to move forward with those assets. So, Stephen, if you could share with the audience where, excuse me, how long have you been trying to do this on your own?
Probably I would say feels like forever, but I would say realistically, at least a year or two, at least on my own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So would you say, us, working together, it helped to expedite and speed up the process with what you were trying to figure out for a year and a half?
Yes, yes, it did. It kind of like I said, narrowed down my focus to a tunnel, and specifically, I'm down at one tunnel, so I'm not looking outside anything else, and it kind of helps me narrow down. I've gotten real better at what I need to focus in on, and raising capital fees, self-directed IRAs. So now it's like instead of like a 8 process thing, it's like down to two
Exactly.
process
Exactly.
step.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Stephen. Thanks for taking out the time to have this interview session with me. So this is just so the listening audience knows this is part two. Sometime back, I shared with the audience the feedback from the mini VIP day, and I just wanted other people to know that this is the follow-up since that time. So once again, this is Lorelia. If you want to learn more about me, you can go to my website, www.neverloseadeal.com. Okay, thank you.